Hello everyone, my name is Hana Mazhar and I'm here today with two very special guests who have come all the way from India for the first screening of their movie All India Rank at the International Film Festival of Rotterdam. So Varun Grover and Bodhisattva Sharma, welcome to the Netherlands.
Hello.
How are you both doing today?
Good. Yeah, very excited, very nervous.
Very
I think
nice.
world premiere is first film world premiere. It's a lifetime opportunity for me. It's something which I've probably dreamed of and never believed those dreams, like because they're so wild that you'll make a film and it will have a world premiere, and it will have a world premiere at one of my favorite festivals. And this festival has always been on my dream list, and to be here and to be here on like the days here, like in 7 hours or so.
Yes, the first
We
screening.
have the screening, and it's still, I'm still in a bit of disbelief, but it's super exciting.
Very nice to hear. What about you? How are you feeling?
I am very excited. It is my, again, my first film as well. It's my first festival actually.
Okay, nice to hear.
And the same with me, I am completely in disbelief. It's not quite sunk in. I hope it will soon, but I think it'll always be a grand moment.
Okay. Is this your first time in the Netherlands for you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How do you like it? How do you like the weather?
Okay. I don't know. Cold is fine. The rains are a bit depressing. Generally, for
Yeah.
me, I'm a sun kind of a person. When I was checking into the hotel, I asked him, "Can you give me a room with some sunlight?" And he laughed. He was like, "Yeah, I can give you a room, but I can't bring the sun." But apart from the gloomy weather, everything else is so nice. I'm like super pleased to see that the festival is all over the city. It's not just
Yes, that's
just
true.
a bunch of people celebrating cinema. It's like wherever you go in the city, there are these huge
Posters.
tiger
Yes.
logos. There are people excited about the festival. People recognize you with the festival badge, saying, "Okay, you're here for the film," and all that. So it's like the entire city is geared up for the festival, and that's very, very good to see.
आगे बढ़ने से पहले I want you to take us through your experiences, both of you. So I read online that you were studying something not related to film at all.
Yeah.
And I would like for you to tell us how did that broad change happen for you?
So I was always writing. In fact, my first short story was published at the age of 10. So I wanted to be a writer all my life. And still growing up in Lucknow in India, it's a city which is very conventionally middle class with the kind of typical aspirational dreams of middle class India, which is you have to either become a doctor or an engineer and then get in the definition of the word, a settled life, which is a very simple, normal life. Keep your head down, go to a job, get some money, raise a family. So those kind of conventional, decent, innocuous dreams. So I grew up in that kind of a place where I always wanted to be a writer, but I could never express because it to someone that I will become a writer. It was very scary to even believe that I can do that. It was always something which felt like another world. No one in Lucknow would ever imagine that you can go and become a writer, full-time writer. So I wrote my engineering exam and I went to an IIT. I did my civil engineering from IIT Banaras. And but those 4 years was my me time when I went to the college, and I started taking this dream, this wild dream seriously and wanted to make it happen during those 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I read a lot, started writing seriously, started directing plays, writing plays, working with lots of professionals from the theatre scene in Banaras. And that gave me the confidence and that opened so many windows outside also and inside my mind also that I can do it.
Yeah.
And so I quit my job within 11 months. I
Wow.
got a campus placement from my engineering college and went to Pune for the job. And within 11 months, I was like, okay, enough, and now I have to move to Bombay. So then I quit my job, moved to Bombay in 2004, and now it's been 18, 19 years in Bombay.
Wow.
So figuring my way out and
Yeah. So how would you describe that experience that you had as a civil engineer student to this, what you are now? What differences do you think you have faced, or do you see in yourself?
okay, now, so there are many changes. One is the lifestyle and how people perceive you, but I think the bigger change is that inside I feel a free man.
Okay.
I feel like, okay, I can, whatever, take a 6-month break and just travel the world and still, or travel India, or travel just my own city, explore my own city in multiple ways. It could be just exploring the food of the city or the architecture of the city or the writing about the city, and I would still be working as an artist even
Yeah.
when I'm not working. But for anyone who is say in a conventional job like an engineer or doctor, they have to really every day get up and work
Yeah.
to be considered a professional. While I can just be lying in my bed the whole day reading a novel. That would be my job.
So what about you, Bodhi? Like, how do you experience this?
So I was doing theatre. I was playing football
Okay.
to start off. And my brother was doing theatre for the production manager of the National School of Drama. And so there was this legendary Assamese play called Khanta Hista Rista Pusta Mahadista,
Okay.
which is Shant. So she was just Khanta Hista is basically a calm person. Rista Pusta is somebody who is healthier, and Mahadusta is basically Mahadush, which is a naughty guy basically.
Okay.
So the person who was playing the naughty person had some sort of exam or something came up, or his parents asked him to pull out. So he gave up and he did not pursue the play. I went one day just to watch, and somehow the director thought that I could try it out, and I tried it out, and I really enjoyed it. And that was my first experience doing a play, an organized play. After that, it was just fun for me to do something after school or between football practice. But I continued doing theatre with him. I did this play which I think that was my greatest honor until now, which was I received a travel fellowship from the National School of Drama to perform in 5 different places.
Nice.
And I got to travel with a lot of NSD graduates. And during that trip was when I understood the craft in a little more depth. I was still very young. So of course
How old were you?
This is, I think I was 13, 14 maybe.
Very young.
I was very young.
Okay.
And the way they talked about it was something I never thought that, okay, it was that deep. And that's how I started doing theatre. After that, I would say it sort of became like an addiction where I did not like not doing it. I would keep pestering my director that, what's the next thing? What are we doing next? And like that. So sometimes when we would have offs, I would go and do some workshops, Barry John's workshops or NSD's workshops, just to keep on practicing the craft. And during one of those workshops, somebody came, casting agents came looking for actors my age, because they thought that they'll find potential actors in this space, which was for Patal Lok, which was the first audition I ever gave. So they asked me to come and give an audition. I never thought I would crack it, because theatre acting and film acting is very different, and I was not at all acquainted with the film style of acting, except for, of course, in front of the mirrors, which don't really count for much. And but yeah, somehow it worked out, and that was my first project. I was very, very arrogant actor when I was doing theatre, but that's probably because I don't know. The praise came very early, and I thought that wow, okay, insane, amazing. But then I got in and I started working with people who were older than me, who were so much better than me. That I came to realize that I'm terrible at this job and that I really need to work. But which only made me feel hopeful for the future. That I have to keep working, I have to keep working. And then I worked mostly through my school was very helpful. They allowed me to take leave whenever I wanted because they were very encouraging. There have been a lot of scholars that have come out of the school, so they were helpful and they promoted it a lot. So I never had an issue with my education that way. And I just shifted to Bombay a year ago after COVID.
Yeah.
Since I'm one of the COVID generation actors. And yeah, life's been like that since then.
So, what school was it that you were studying in? Can you...
A modern school, Barakamba,
Oh, where is this located?
in New Delhi,
Oh, it's in New Delhi.
Central Delhi.
Okay, nice. So, how supportive have your friends been? When...
They treat me just the same,
Oh, they treat you just...
which I'm so glad
Yeah.
that they do.
Yes, of course.
I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, they still tease me about everything that they tease me about. They still have that banter. Nothing's lost.
Nothing's lost. Okay. So, you haven't seen any changes?
In them, no.
No. What about your own life? Like, how do you see something different in you?
I mean, what happens is because I am rather young, and the people who are working in this industry are usually older than I am. So I tend to mix with a lot of people who are older than I am, which actually helps me get perspective on things a little differently from what I was getting. And it introduces me to things. For example, when I did AIR, it introduced me to a lot of things that I never knew I was interested in. Different forms of music or different types of films. I think very fortunate that I was introduced to.
Okay, nice.
How did you find him for the movie?
We had a very intensive casting round. So casting, they did the casting. They have done like
Okay.
many fantastic films, and so Anmol, Deepak, and Priyasha. Yeah. So Anmol, Deepak, and Priyasha, they were involved. And they auditioned so many young people from around the country. They did not, I mean, and specifically told them to not stick to just Bombay kids and go out and explore, go to Patna, go to Lucknow, go to Calcutta, go to Delhi. And so they went to all these places and auditioned lots of new actors. We thankfully, our producers were absolutely okay to cast newcomers and not whatever, either star kids or older actors who can play whatever 16, 17-year-olds. I saw at least 100 auditions, and which was the shortlisted ones out of 500 or more auditions they had done. So definitely they had auditioned 500 kids. Sorry,
Yeah.
not kids, but yeah, young
Youngsters,
adults.
yeah.
I mean, kids is probably below 15, and we were looking for that age group of 16 to 18, and more than 500 young adults were auditioned for Vivek's role, for all the four. So there are four main characters in that age group, 16 to 20. So Vivek, Sarika, Chandan, and Rinku. And in total, I think they had auditioned more than 1,500 actors, and I got to see around 300, 400 auditions, out of which and there were multiple rounds.
Wow.
Then there was one very good thing we did. I mean, lucky for us that we got to do it, is we did a workshop with a bunch. So before we finalized on one name and one actor, we had like 4 or 5 options for every character. So there were 15 to 18 actors who were there for the workshop, and Sri Doelen, who was our acting coach and the dialect coach also. So he helped us to conduct that workshop with 15, 16 actors. And we then spent 3-4 days with them, and then did various exercises and spent time with them just to see who actually fits the character the most, who is closest to the character, generally in life experiences also, and in the way they, the temperament is, not just the acting skills. Of course, acting skills were the top thing, but all things equal, we then wanted someone who has the kind of life experiences this character has had, the kind of vulnerability, the kind of, I would say, sometimes, so for example, Vivek's character, we wanted someone who is very comfortable with the feminine side, someone who is comfortable being vulnerable, being able to show their emotions and not be this, typical idea of masculinity, which is we will hide our emotions and we will, we'll sulk and whatever, do all that destructive things instead of just being open and available to the world. So that was something which I think Bodhi had in ample quantities, apart from his acting chops, apart
Bodhi
from
looks
his,
surprised.
various other qualities he brought to the table. But apart from that, I think it was just his personality
Yeah.
and his openness about his emotions,
Yeah.
which really worked for us. And he gave a great audition. It's like it was the best audition. In fact, the casting director, Anmol, he sent me, so he would send every day, a bunch of auditions, 4 or 5 top options from that day. And when he sent this audition, it was only a YouTube, whatever, upload of the audition. With the audition, he wrote just a 3-word message saying, "Mil gaya Vivek, we found our Vivek." And it was just an audition, but he was very confident. And when I saw the audition, I was also quite happy.
Yeah.
Though we still did that workshop
He
after
really
that.
did
and-
justice to the character Vivek, yeah. How did you end up auditioning for this?
Oh, I just got a call from
A casting,
casting director.
okay.
Varun Grover is I think his directorial deputy. So would you like to, of course, anyone would like to, but would you like to audition for? Absolutely. So then I went through, I think, so I auditioned once, I sent a self-tape from Pune. I was traveling, I was at a friend's place. Then I came back to Delhi. They asked me for another audition there. And the final one, I think I made it, there's a casting agency in Delhi called DM Stars. So in their office, somebody from Casting Bay had come. They took a final because we as actors, I think we always find it easier when we don't have to send self-tapes and when the casting, a person from the casting team is present with us, because they can work out the minor issues that would satisfy the casting director or the director. So then that was my, I think, 3rd round, and after that the workshop was very big deal for me, because even before I started watching films, my mother was already a very big fan of his. And I remember when I was super young, I used to watch his stand-up comedy, his skits with her. So when I found out that I got the part, first part, I ran into I had gone for, I was training in MMA, so I came back from the gym, I was super tired. But I still rushed into the house and I screamed, I got it. And we all knew what we were talking about. And my mother was
so happy.
She was ecstatic.
Beta, I knew you could do it.
Oh my God, it was just surreal.
What inspired this story, All India Rank?
So a lot of it is very personal, nostalgia, personal commentary on stuff I feel strongly about, with the education system of India, or the kind of obsession middle class India has with a certain way of life, and that certain way of life is very closely tied in with the capitalistic idea of material achievements, and how the whole world is kind of the whole world revolves around just satisfying these very basic day-to-day needs and not looking beyond that kind of a setup. Second is all my stories Masan or All India Rank or Sandeep or Pinky Farrar, there has to be a sense of Sacred Games also, though it was adapted from a novel, and still I want my worldview to be there and my own experiences to be there. Otherwise, I can't write. I can't write a completely imagined story or an imagined world. It has to have some very strong connection with the world I know or the world I've observed very keenly. And this is a world which I know inside out. I knew the color of the paints on the wall, I knew the kind of fabrics, I knew the kind of strange things which I used to do as a kid. So there was like, so one example is in the film also, where there's a scene where, the wash basin taps in a lot of our homes used to stop working because, and then we would operate it from the lower knob, which is the main inlet outlet knob. So it's there in the film that father tells him कि वो भूल गए क्या नीचे से खुलता है पानी. So it's a very strange nostalgia or strange memory I have from my own growing up days. And not everyone will probably understand what's going on or why this is happening, but whoever will understand, whoever has lived that life, they'll feel seen, they'll feel represented there. So, in a very strange way. So these are the kind of things I want to just kind of explore through the stories, apart from the bigger themes which are always there, which are inevitable in any story, in any feature film. Even if you don't put a theme there, there is always a theme. Sometimes the theme is ignorance of the world. That could also be like for a lot of commercial cinema, that is the theme, that we don't care about the world and we don't know what's going on. We want this poor man baby to get his money and get his heroine. But apart from that, I just want to tell personal stories. I want to kind of explore a world or open up a world which is of a certain time and a certain place, and in all its authenticity.
Do you also relate to what he was talking about, the IIT, the experience? Like, do you also have to study that hard, or you want to just continue with acting, or what do you see?
I do not want to not complete my education. I'm in college. I'm studying English literature.
Okay, that's very
But
nice.
I wanted to study something that would help me with acting. If it's literature or psychology, something that would help me. But yes, my main focus is definitely, I knew it when I was very young that that's what I wanted to do.
And your family was very supportive of it.
So I'm from Assam, and in Assam, theatre is big.
Okay.
It's massive. My mom herself was into theatre when she was much younger. She had to leave for several reasons. So she never pushed me into it, but she was the type of person who's always okay with me trying whatever I want to, so that I can find one thing that interests me. So absolutely, she was totally fine with it, and but I knew it very young that this is what I wanted.
And you seem to be really enjoying it also.
So nothing I'd rather do.
Nothing you'd rather do. Okay. What about you? You do a lot. How do you juggle between all of these things that you do?
I don't have to juggle.
You don't have to juggle.
I'm just whatever comes in that moment. It's like, for me, it's like a day of eating. Like, so breakfast is, let's say, South Indian, idli, dosa or something, and then lunch is Indian, then dinner is continental. Everything is cooking for me. So I cook something in the morning and then cook something in the afternoon and cook something in the night. I can get involved in 5 different kinds of writing forms. So stand-up comedy or screenwriting or lyrics writing. Everything is writing for me. It's not like very different art forms. It's eventually knowing the craft, knowing the ingredients you have to use, and just being in that zone and being present. And so for me, it's not juggling really between various things. It's simply slightly different lenses, but you have the same eyes.
What would you say was the biggest challenge for you for filming All India Rank? Or
Okay, yeah. So it was challenging because I've always been a writer, and being a writer is quite comfortable. You get used to, sitting in a room and writing, and then sending out instructions for a team of 100 people to carry out, and you have written, okay, I want flying elephants, and someone has to make sure there are flying elephants either by VFX or by whatever, or actually they hit an elephant and put it on ropes and whatever. I mean, it's all you just have to write and someone will execute, and that's the whatever luxury of being a writer, which I had in right from Masan to Sacred Games to Sandeepa Kinkifarar to whatever, everything I've written, short films and all. But this is the first time when I had to take responsibility for what I'm writing and to execute it in the way the writer had imagined. And on the sets, it was quite humbling to know that this horrible line has been written by a writer called Varun who happens to be me only, and there are so many things which are wrong or which could have been better as as a writer, which as a director then I could see. So it was a very good learning experience to see how writers sometimes take things for granted and sometimes do not write as detailed as a director would want. And on the sets, you would encounter lots of these questions which are not answered in the script, and then as a director, you have to answer them. So it was fun.
Fun to do. How was it working together with each other?
So it was a breeze. I think it was like love at first sight kind of a thing. I mean, I really, right from the audition to the workshop to the script readings we were doing, and to then the various workshops, acting workshops we did for the character. I always found Bodhi to be the most sincere, to be the most present, and the most innovative with his responses, emotional responses, and the most open, most vulnerable, most open to suggestions, most open to trying new stuff. And I think it was a very difficult character, not because it had like some seriously intense scenes, no, but because of the kind of subtlety we wanted in this character, and it is from a particular era, which is before he was born. And to get into the skin of a character, someone who was born in 1980, while he was born in 2003. So 23 years before he was born, actually, this character, Vivek, is born. And to get used to or to respond to the world of those times where, this is the mobile phone generation. And that was not even the landline phone generation. I mean, we saw our first landline phone in 1990 to 94, probably when I was 14 or 15 years old. We actually got our first phone at our home. So to feel like a character who belongs to that world, I think it takes immense surrender on his part and immense preparation, and I think he did fantastic on it.
Wow.
I think things were made easier for me definitely because of his help. Very early on only I told him that, so of course every character is approached differently, but there is a set practice of certain things that I do for each character, and I told him, and he was most open to suggesting those things. And even when, because he writes his own scripts, and there are a lot of writers, and I can understand, who like to treat their scripts as Bibles and stick to them as it is. But as an actor, and of course as a director and writer, when you reach on set, there are a lot of things that you receive from the moment and the things around you. Maybe the sun is in a different place, and that could give you something different. Maybe something you imagine would be placed this way is placed some other way, and that's different. And he was always ready to, also if I want to ask him for to change something, and I bugged him a lot with questions, but he was always open to answering them. And Um, a multitude of films, so many films he recommended that I should watch, and I've watched, and they helped out so much. And of course, because again, I saw a lot of him in Vivek. There were certain mannerisms of his that I copied as much as I could, of course. Even the photo that is on IFFR's page.
Yeah.
So the smile. So whenever he's emotional about something, he makes this face where his lips go like.
Oh.
So that's something that I exactly copied. So I think I couldn't have asked for a better person.
Wow. What do you have for the future and plans together, or do you plan to work in Hollywood or anything? Reaching the sky?
I mean, I haven't thought that far because I also didn't think I have the right to. I'm rather young and aiming that high already. I think this is as big as an honor that it could be to have the honor of a film that I'm a part of world premiering as the closing film of such a prestigious film festival is beyond my wildest imagination. I don't think I ever thought that would happen. I mean, अगर हो गया होता तो that would be amazing, but I don't think so. I think this is big enough for me, but of course, we're only human. We'll always want more, always want more. But for now, I think I'm very satisfied with where I am, but yeah, I don't think it's where I'd like to stop.
Yeah, definitely. Well, any future films that you're working on or
At this point, yeah, of course, there are a couple of scripts I'm writing, I'm involved with. There are various stages of development. But this year, I just want to travel with All India Rank, go to various festivals, show the film around, and do some stand-up comedy. So this year, I'm going to focus on stand-up comedy and working with this film to take it around.
It's been too long since you've come out with it.
Okay, Bodhi and Varun, it was great having you here, and it was great talking to you, and I'm really excited to watch the closing film.
And you also should go and watch it. It's beautiful. So it was really nice having you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the festival.
So thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
here. Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting you. Okay.